unmuting, y'all. Carol chose to start asking questions at 9:59. All right. Okay, let's come to the top of the mat. And I have you guys on a screen over to the side. I can see everyone except Tanya. Okay. So let's bring the hands together. Take a few breaths. Scan the body. Right now it's hard to imagine how the body is going to cooperate in some of these harder poses. But we'll just get there one step at a time. On your exhale, to release your arms by your side. Inhale to reach up, look at the thumbs. Exhale to fold forward, you can bend the knees or not. Inhale, halfway up. And just step into plank. And let's stay in plank for a moment. Try to lift through the belly button so you don't feel your hips get droopy. If the hips start getting droopy, it becomes a strain. So it's better to just keep them lifted. Keep the legs strong. Let's press to downward dog on the exhale. And return to plank for the inhale. Just do that a few times. Try to keep squeezing your forearms in toward each other so that the arms stay really straight. That the elbows are not tempted to angle out to the sides. And notice how your fingers are pushing and pulling you. The next time you get to downward dog, stay there. Lift the heels up for your inhale when you're in downward dog. Bend the knees for your exhale, and we'll jump forward, feet to hands. Inhale when you get to the top of the mat. Fold, exhale. Rise all the way up. Inhale. Arms by the sides, exhale. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway up. And step to plank again. This time we'll come to the forearms. So you can put your knees down and then the forearms, or any other way. Forearm plank. You might find that it's a little more difficult to keep your hips lifted. We won't be here forever. Let's start to walk feet in toward elbows so your butt lifts up. It becomes down dog B. And from down dog B, just use your fingers to push your chest closer to your legs. And on your inhale, just lift your heels up high, but keep pushing your chest toward your legs. Exhale the heels down again. And just do that at your breath. You're going to notice when your heels are lifting, you have to work harder to push your chest back. Try not to let your weight shift forward at all. That just means that you're working through the shoulders, you're opening through the armpits. And the next time that you find your heels pressing toward the ground, just straighten your arms to a normal downward dog. We'll lift the heels up high, inhale, bend the knees, exhale, jump forward. Inhale at the top, fold, exhale. Rise all the way up, inhale. Samasthiti, exhale. Reach up, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Halfway up for the inhale. This time just send your left leg back, exhale. Lower the knee. Inhale, reach up, Urdhva. Fingertips down, exhale. Back foot forward, inhale. Head to shins, exhale. Inhale, halfway up. Send the right foot back. Anjaneyasana, the back knee comes down. We reach up for an inhale. Keep bending into that front knee. Just lower the fingertips, exhale. Back foot forward, inhale. Head to shins, exhale. Bend into the knees. Inhale, reach up. We'll stay here. Either look up at the thumbs or look straight ahead. See if you can bring your belly button in and up. Let's fold and straighten the legs. Exhale. Halfway up. Inhale. Step forward, jump to chaturanga. Exhale. Upward facing. Inhale. Downward facing. Exhale. Right leg to the ceiling. Inhale. Step to the hands. Exhale. Anjaneyasana. Inhale. Hands to the floor. Chaturanga. Exhale. Upward facing. Inhale. Downward facing. Exhale. Left leg to the ceiling. Inhale. Step forward. Exhale. Right knee down. Inhale to reach the arms up. Exhale for chaturanga. Inhale for upward facing. Exhale for downward facing. And you choose, do you want your arms to be straight or do you want your forearms to be down? Just depends on your shoulders, on your hamstrings, what feels better or what you're working toward. Maybe you have wrist pain, which determines your choice for today. Whatever you're doing with your arms, try to dangle your head, just relax your neck. If we were in an inversion, you would direct your gaze to a specific place. Your neck would not be dangling like this. But in down dog, you could just let it go. If you're on your elbows, re-straighten your arms. After the exhale, let's jump or step forward. Inhale at the top. Fold head to shins. Bend the knees, Urdhva like you did before. This time, sit a little bit lower and reach forward. Press the knees together so you feel that midline. In a moment, we're going to come into Bakasana, and you're still going to press the knees into the midline, but they're going to be on your arms. Let's lower the hands, lift the heels, place the knees either at the upper arm or in the armpit. Shift the weight forward. Your knees are still squeezing in. Your feet are actually touching the inner edges of the feet. Take one more breath. And when you're ready, jump back, chaturanga. We'll meet in a downward dog.
Rachel, we lost you on the screen.
Oh.
You're back. You're back.
How could I be gone? Hello. I wonder how long I was gone for. Could you hear my voice?
Yeah, it was just you were in a picture, like your picture anyway.
Oh. Very odd. Okay. So from down dog, we'll lift the right leg up high. Inhale. And step to the hands. Exhale. High lunge. Inhale. Bend the back knee and twist, open up the arms. Exhale. Inhale, high lunge, back leg straight. Exhale, open it up, back knee bend. One more time like that. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, legs straight behind. And hands to the floor, chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Left leg high, inhale. Step to the hands, exhale. High lunge, inhale. Twist left, exhale. High lunge, inhale. Try to lift the pubic bone up. Twist, exhale. Inhale, tailbone down. Exhale. Inhale, high lunge. This one takes us through the vinyasa. If you're feeling tired, you could always go straight to downward dog. That's where we're going to end up. Two more breaths here. Keep the arms straight. Let's lift the heels and start walking your feet forward, keeping the heels off the ground until you feel like you're at a spot where you just can't walk forward anymore because you feel like you're going to topple forward, or it's just really uncomfortable, or you're not breathing anymore. Whenever you get to that spot, just make sure your forearms are still hugging in toward each other and your arms are staying straight. If it's not possible to do that anymore, it means you just walked a little too far forward. Okay, heels down, walk the feet together, Utkatasana. Bend the knees, lift the arms. This time hold opposite elbows, pull your forearms back. Keep lifting through the low belly, take one more breath. We'll bring the hands to prayer, twist to the right, hook your left arm outside of your right leg, and keep pressing the knees together. So you have that strength of foundation to push against. So that when your right hand pushes down into your left hand, you don't topple. Okay, untwist, squat and reach forward. Drop your head, round your back. Bring the belly button in toward your spine so it's not squished up against your thighs. Take one more breath. We'll return to Utkatasana. So just push into the feet, get your butt off your heels, reach the arms up, and twist the other way. Look your right arm, palms are together, chest is lifting up away from your leg so that your thumb is right at the center of your chest. Okay, untwist, squat, reach forward so that your arms counterbalance the weight of your butt. And if you can, go as low as your butt allows first, so that you'll see like how flexible are your hips, knees, ankle. And then squeeze your legs together and come up just an inch. So now it's no longer relaxing, it's really strong. We'll turn this into Bakasana, potentially Bakasana into tripods. I just backed up a little bit, so when I land the head, it's still on the mat. Hands come down, knees to arms, shift the weight forward. So in Bakasana, we're looking forward, moving towards straight arms. When you're ready to take it to tripod, bend your elbows, drop your head, and then the abs are going to lift your legs for you. Those of you who went to tripod, you'll go to chaturanga from there. As you lower your legs, you're going to lift your head and look forward. That's the exhale. Keep it going through your vinyasa so you end up in downward dog. And we'll just meet there. There's many. Get there. Right leg up high, inhale. Step to the hands, exhale. High lunge, inhale. Into warrior two, exhale. Straighten the right leg, inhale. Bend the leg, put your right hand big toe side of the foot, exhale. Inhale, rise up, straight leg. Exhale, bend the knee, place your hand. Two more times. So we're pushing the floor away as we inhale, straight leg. And we're digging into the heel, activating the hamstring to bend the knee. One more time. Okay, so we'll stay low. We'll just lower the hand and place them on either side of the foot. Lift the back heel. Just a simple lunge. Take one more breath here. We'll turn it into rounded plank by dropping the head, sliding the right foot back, and try to bring the knee toward the nose or the forehead. Inhale to a three-legged dog, and exhale, return to rounded plank. Two more times. And after that third one, just inhale your leg up high, but place it down in a nice normal downward dog. And we'll do all that on the other side. When you're ready to inhale, left leg comes up high, and we step forward to the hands. High lunge into warrior two. Heel to arch alignment, and straighten your left leg. Exhale to this variation on Urdhva Kukkutasana. Inhale to rise. Exhale to bend. 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale. This is just getting into the hip. This next time that you're low, place the hands flat, lift the back heel. Take your time getting set up. You're going to start to round your back, drop your head. When you're ready, slide the left toes back. And then 3 times we'll move with breath, leg up on the inhale, knee to nose on the exhale. Try to keep the arms straight the whole time. Also, the right leg will stay straight the whole time. And we'll meet in a normal downward dog with 2 feet on the ground, 2 arms straight. Neck relaxed, belly hollowing out. Okay, heels up high for an inhale. Bend the knees, exhale, jump forward. Inhale when you get there, and fold, exhale. We'll just come halfway up and tap dance the feet outside so the toes dangle off the edge of the mat and squat. So a lot of you will find this easier than the previous squat. We'll bring our right shoulder inside of the right knee, open up the arms. So from the front of the book like this. You could bind around the leg if you so choose. Just take another breath or so. Keep pushing both knees back. And unravel yourself and try the other side. So your left shoulder is going to wedge inside the left knee. Then it's pretty easy to keep the left knee back. But now you have to work to get your right knee to also move back. If your right knee is dropping in, it means you're not paying enough attention, maybe to the foot, to your weight distribution. If you're too much on the left foot, you won't have enough power in that right leg, so try to keep your weight centered. Okay, so we'll get out of there and come into a baby Bakasana. So I don't know really why we call it this, because it's not any easier than Bakasana. We'll place the forearms down, bring the knees toward the armpits, and lean forward to lift the feet off the ground. So we're just on the forearms, head is off the ground, and we try to lift ourselves up here. Don't sink down too far. Okay, place the feet down again, and just step back, either down dog or vinyasa. I'll give you a moment to do that if that is pleasing to you. Okay, from down dog, right leg up high, inhale. Step to the hands, exhale. Warrior one, inhale to reach up. Let's interlace the fingers behind the back. Start to reach the knuckles toward that back heel. We're just going to take a breath or so like this. And we're going to bend these elbows. I'll face the other way. And we're going to bring the hands to the left hip. And that's just going to encourage us to square up a little bit more. And keep squeezing the elbows toward each other. One more breath to bend the front knee a little more. And we'll release the arms to straight and fold forward. So either your shoulder rests on your thigh or it slides inside of your knee. Either your palms stay together or you let the wrist bend and you open up the palms. You'll have a great view of your back leg. Is it straight? Do you have an arch in the foot? The answer should be yes to both questions. Let's slowly release the hands. Step back, vinyasa. And let's do the other side. Left leg up high, inhale. Step to the hands, exhale. Warrior one. So we have a heel to heel alignment. Interlace the fingers. Reach the knuckles down. So your chest is lifting up and opening through the collarbones. Back leg straight. Bend in the elbows. Bring your hands to that right hip. You can give that right hip a little nudge forward. Okay, then into the forward bend aspect. We'll let the belly draw in so that we can feel comfortable rounding. If I keep my palms together, I feel nothing in the shoulders because the arms don't get far enough over my head. So if you feel that as well, just let the wrists do the bending. Some of you, your head will come down to the floor near the arch of your left foot. Okay, slowly release, palms flat, step back, vinyasa. Let's come to the forearms. You might want to bend the knees to the ground first and measure it out. Make sure that they're not too wide. Palms flat, forearms parallel. And just like we did earlier in down dog, you're going to press your chest closer to your legs, come onto the balls of your feet, and start to walk your feet in toward your elbows. It's going to be harder as you walk your feet in more and more. You have to push into your fingers more and more. Don't let your head clunk onto the ground. If it does, it just means you've gone too far. Take one more breath. There should be no migration of hands or elbows. And walk the feet back again to a nice comfortable place. Re-straighten the arms. And after your exhale, step or jump feet to hands. Inhale there at the top. I have to wipe my sweat. As we do this, exhale, fold. Bend into the knees. Urdhva Kukkutasana. I'm just going to face this way. Let's find our twist again, like we did before. This time, just a little out and back into Urdhva. Place the hands off to the side, facing the same direction as your toes with the fingers. Shift your weight, lift your feet. Have a conscious thought. Look to the right, twist a little deeper, and place the feet down again. Find your Kukkutasana with the arms up. Exhale, we'll fold forward, straight legs. Inhale, halfway up, and send the left foot back to a lunge. Simple twist. We'll keep the left palm flat, right arm up. We'll come back to this place in a few breaths. Let's untwist and find triangle pose. Back heel down, right hand to big toe, right hip scoops underneath you. 5 breaths here. With whatever arm thing you want to do. That's 2 breaths. 3, 4, and 5. So to get out of it, we'll just untwist, return to the lunge, return to the simple twist. Then let's creep our right foot back a little bit and come into this side plank variation where we use the right foot pushing down into the floor to get our hips up higher. If you end up here somewhere with your hips drooping, very hard to re-lift. So try to keep them up from the beginning. Okay, unravel, step back, vinyasa. From your downward dog, step or jump, feet to hands. Inhale there at the top. Fold, exhale. Bend into the knees, Kukkutasana. So we go into our Urdhva first into a twist. So your left hip will be in space. I'll face this way just in case you need to see that view. The hands are gonna come down. The left arm is reaching out to the side, and the hips are just floating over the space between your forearms. Look to the left to twist a little deeper. And return your feet to the floor. Urdhva Kukkutasana. And fold straight legs. Halfway up, inhale. Send the right foot back, exhale. Simple twist. Right palm is flat, and it's just under your shoulder. Try to stack the arms, try to lean the shoulders back. Don't let this knee sway out to the side. Okay, untwist, triangle pose. Back heel down, left hand to big toe, first two fingers and thumb. So your left hip moving underneath you is what's gonna get your chest facing more up. So think about your feet and your legs more than the upper body. The upper body will happen on its own. Okay, so we'll unravel and we'll return to our simple twist. And when you can, walk that left foot back. And now you're in the side plank variation, which is opening through that left hip. Sort of like it would in pigeon. Okay, and we'll let that go. Vinyasa. After you're comfortable for a moment in down dog, lift your heels, bend your knees, turn it into puppy. And in puppy, you might have to roll your shoulders again, externally, away from your ears. Work again to get your arms straight. And after your exhale in puppy, look past your hands and jump forwards. Inhale there at the top, fold, exhale. Bend into the knees, Urdhva Kukkutasana. And we'll bring our right ankle to the lower left thigh. Flying pigeon. Feel free to stay here, or if your knees and ankles will allow you, squat, sit on your butt with your butt real close to your left foot and hug around your limbs so that you can get your chest close to your right shin bone. We'll just take another breath or two. If we are sitting on our butts, we're going to return to flying pigeon. So those of you who are in flying pigeon, don't worry, just stay there. Okay, so to travel to your foot again, you can just use your fingers behind you to nudge your butt up. You'll shift your shoulder weight forward. It'll be on the ball of your left foot. And then you can just lift your butt and lower the sole of the foot again. Okay, take hold of your outer right foot with your right hand, left hand to the hip. Extend the right leg forward. Push through the ball of your foot so your leg gets a little straighter. It doesn't have to be all the way straight. That's going to depend on your hamstring. But just go to your range. And we'll lift the left leg up. Inhale. And reach it out toward that right foot. Replace your right hand with your left hand, with the thumb facing down, and twist. Try to look back toward your right thumb. We'll untwist and return to our flying pigeon. So either stay in flying pigeon or practice going down to your butt again. Those of you who already went down to your butt, you're used to this idea then of changing the weight on your left foot. That's what you need to do to turn this into an arm balance. So place our hands down on the ground, 12 inches in front of the toes. We'll bring our foot to our left arm, high up, right knee to the right arm. And you just start to lift your left heel. Shift your weight forward, keep your butt up, and play with lifting the left foot. If you can push your foot, your shin, your knee into your arms, you can get the back leg up. Those of you that went to the arm balance, return your foot to the floor. We're all just going to stand and lower the foot down again. Let's find the same squat we did before where we have our feet wide. Wipe the sweat yet again. And we'll just do that same thing, right shoulder inside. Don't lean too far. If you lean in order to get your bind, that's fine. But put the weight again into your left foot. So the leaning and the lightness of the left foot is just temporary. Okay, unravel. Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. Chest up, inhale. And fold, exhale. To get the knees to the floor, it's an external rotation. You could open the feet up like a book. That might make it happen for you easier. You could use your hands on your thighs to push down the back. You really just have to be patient. Okay, so we'll rise up. We'll bring the soles of the feet together, close to the butt, so that we're just curled up. It's going to look easier than it is. You're going to reach forward and try to lean your chest toward your thighs and try to squeeze your thighs together. It's very hard to stay like this. I want very much to explode onto my back and have my legs relax. But alas, we're just going to stay here for another breath or two, thinking of shoulders forward toward knees. This is what's going to help us get into the squat again in just a moment. So you can pretend you have somebody helping you up. You're just going to lean forward. Your knees can open a bit so that the chest can come through. And then you'll be on your feet. We'll return to Urdhva Kukkutasana from there. You just push down into your feet in order to get your butt up. Hands to prayer, left ankle to lower right thigh. Flying pigeon. So now we're on side two. This left foot has to stay flexed the whole time. Those of you who want to come down to your butt, you can use your hands to help with balance. Bend your right knee, your heels will come off the ground. Then walk your hands back, put your heel down again, and put your butt close to it. You might need your hands to stay on the ground. Eventually, you're going to hug around your leg. So to get into arm balances, you do have to be comfortable with changing the foundation in a, not quickly, but kind of a dramatic way. You go all the way from the heels into the fingertips. So you're going to play with your heel lifting, your toes articulating. Okay, those of you on your butt, return to flying pigeon. So this foot placement is very specific. This nook is going to go high up on that arm. The foot is flexed to keep the arm right where it needs to be. Then the left knee can come to the left arm. So when you're ready, shift your weight forward, get your right foot off the ground, and maybe extend the leg up and back. Keep your hips lifting, keep your shins pressing down into your arms. And those of you that went into the balance, just return to your foot. Hands to prayer. Right hand to hip when you're ready, into the extension, left leg out. Good. We'll change the grip. So right arm up to the ceiling on an inhale, big breath, then replace your hand with the right hand to twist. I think on this side I went in a different order than we did before, but alas, such is my life. Let's find our flying pigeon again, and then just release the foot down. Into a squat with the feet wide. We'll bring our left shoulder inside the knee. You could just open your arms up. There's no rule saying you have to bind. If you do want to bind, this left shoulder has to roll forward. Your fingers, or I should say your palm, is going to face up to the ceiling as it comes around. Okay, slowly unravel, lower to your butt, double pigeon, right leg on top. Chest to shin, hands wherever you want. Rise up and just switch sides, left leg on top. I feel like I'm being very nice today. I'll hear it from you later whether that's true or not. This is such a nice pose. Okay, so we're going to face the long edge of the mat. So just spin your body, since you guys are probably facing front. And we'll just nudge ourselves into a Samokhanasana. But not a very aggressive one, just a little hips forward, feet out. Hands could be anywhere you want, just take a breath or two. Press the calf muscles down into the ground. We'll return to this place in a few minutes. Let's bring our hands right inside of the thighs. Lean your shoulders forward. Slide your thighs up your forearms and start to walk your feet in. When you feel weight in your feet, we'll turn it into a bound Parshvakonasana. So right toes will face the short edge of the mat. We'll bring our shoulder inside of the knee and bind under the leg. Then just like you would in any triangle or Parshvakonasana, we'll just get that right hip to swing underneath. Okay, unravel, face that right foot and find your Hanumanasana. So we'll just creep that left leg back and that right foot forward until they don't want to go further away from each other than that. Be diligent about finding the stretch for that left hip flexor, the front of the leg. That's going to help keep you square, keep you motivated to be square. Okay, so return to your Parshvakonasana shape, that right knee bent. And just pivot around to the other side so that we can get our left arm underneath the leg, shoulder is inside of your knee. You could even just reach your right arm up. You don't really have to do a full bind. But you'll find that the left arm, the underside arm, is doing most of the work. Most of the work for the bind, I should say. Really, this pose is mostly about your left hip. Okay, we'll slowly get out of there. Turn it into your Hanumanasana. You can just creep your right knee back until it doesn't want to go back anymore. That's a good way to ensure that you find and maintain the stretch for the right hip flexors. We're going to turn this into Samokhanasana again. So support yourself with your hands. Lift your hips up enough to rotate your back foot. We'll have our heels down, kneecaps up, and we'll slide ourselves into that side split. And we'll pretend that our legs are 180 degrees. Okay, hands inside the thighs. Lean forward. That's the same kind of thing you'd be doing for a handstand. Start to walk your feet in. Keep leaning your shoulders forward. At some point, you'll have a Prasarita type stance. When you get there, place your head. make a choice. Do you want to come into a headstand from there? If you do, it's going to be that same kind of shifting that you did earlier for an arm balance. You have to get your heels light, then eventually your heels up. So you just let your feet articulate you into a place where you feel still comfortable enough to breathe and maintain the foundation. Those of you that have gone up, separate your legs again. Try to get your feet to land where they started from. And we'll just straighten the arms, walk your hands toward the top of your mat, and vinyasa. Okay, right leg up high, inhale. Step it 3/4 of the way forward. Exhale. Straighten both legs, twisted triangle. Left hand down. For right now, bring your right thumb into your hip crease, and as you twist, push your hip back. So the right hip will move back, your right armpit will move forward, and you can take a bigger breath. And if you can maintain this hip back without your thumb there, then just reach up. Okay, untwist. Shift your weight into that right foot. Stand on it, left leg up. And when you can, bend your left leg, hold your foot with your right hand. Point your left knee toward the ceiling and drop your head toward your right shin. Your left hand could be wherever you need it to be for balance. And we'll extend our spines forward, release your foot. Bend both knees, Urdhva Kukkutasana. So that left knee is going to come to the pinky toe side of the foot. We'll have a seat. You might be off your mat a little bit, it's fine. Hug your knee to your left shoulder. So we're twisting the same direction that we did in the triangle. If the hug is going well, hook your arm, reach down. When I reach down, sometimes I feel that the twist is not as big as it could be. So I take that right hand, the thumb specifically, and I roll the flesh of the leg in. And it just frees up a few more inches. Okay, so we'll unravel. We're going to stand on that right foot again. So you already had it down. It's been down the whole time. We're going to turn this into an Urdhva Chandrasana. So that right hip is going to scoop under. Just how you initiated your triangle earlier. If you want, you'll grab hold of your top foot with your left hand and turn it into Urdhva Chandrasana. But it's all about scooping that right hip under you. Take one more breath there. I'm just going to turn around, but you're fine where you are. We're going to let go of that top foot, bend the right leg, both palms flat. And we'll get our hands to be a foot or two in front of the right toes. And we'll start to lift toward handstand. So we'll shift our weight forward so the shoulders are over the fingers. And we'll give ourselves a little kick and a little push. And if we can keep our arms straight, and if we can keep the weight in our fingertips, we'll have a decent shot. I went overboard. It's not so bad. Okay, when you've had enough of such things, we'll just meet in down dog again. And we'll do it all on the other side. So left leg up high, inhale. Step 3/4 of the way forward, exhale. Lower the back heel, so your back foot's about 45 degrees. Right hand down. Left thumb to hip crease. Just push that hip back. Twist. So as your left hip is moving back, your right hip is moving up toward the ceiling. It will feel like it's too much, but it's really never too much. Left arm up. If you ever look around the Mysore room, we all think that we're square and we're working really hard to keep it, but it's very hard. And it will never get easier. This is just one of those poses. Okay, so we'll unravel. We'll shift weight into the left foot, right leg up high, standing split variation. Left hand is going to come to your right foot, and you'll point your knee up. Right hand where you need it to be for balance, head down. And this is a bit of a be brave moment. You have to get the weight into the ball of the left foot. Not so much that your heel comes up, but you can't just hang out on the heel, then your head won't come down far. Okay, let go of that top foot, bend the knees, Urdhva Kukkutasana, right knee comes outside the foot. And your foot doesn't move, it's still there the whole time. Even when you're in the full twist, the inner edge of the foot is pushing into the ground. So either hugging, hooking, reaching, whatever suits you. If you are reaching for the arch or the ball of your foot, you're going to squish your fingers with your foot. If you don't have that grip, you're just going to push your foot into the ground. Okay, so we unravel. We move into that left foot, and we'll start to scoop that left hip under so that we open up to the long edge of the mat, Urdhva Chandrasana, or hold the grip on the foot. That's Urdhva Chandrasana. Either way, it's all about what is your left foot doing. The ball of your foot has to take some weight so that you can move your hip under, so that you can move your right shoulder back without falling. And when you're ready, we'll turn it into handstand by releasing the grip, squaring your hips, bending the left leg enough that you can get your palms flat. Because if your hands are not flat, there's no handstand to be had. And you'll just practice shifting your weight. You might even decide to keep your left toes on the ground, that's fine. When you feel like it, you just do a few little hops. And we'll meet in downward dog. Okay, let's jump through to sitting. I'm just peeking at the clock. Yay, we still have time. Woohoo! Okay. So from sitting, we're going to do a long version of Baddha Hasta Sirsasana. So feet far away from your pelvis, diamond shape, and just bring your head to the arches of your feet. Try to relax a little bit. Okay. We'll rise up. We'll just straighten the left leg out along the mat. Take hold of the outer right foot and pull that right knee into happy baby. The challenge is going to be sitting up straight. So as the knee comes back, we tend to do a little slumpy thing. We need to figure out how are we going to pull the knee back, but chest up, head back, like as if the base of the skull is pushing into something. So there's a lot of that low belly drawing in and up feeling, that zipper feeling. Let's place the foot close to the hip. Marchasana A. Reach forward and around. Get your armpit low on the shin if you can. And bind near your right hip. Maybe you can hold your left forearm with your right hand. And we'll rise up. And we'll take a baby cradle with that same leg. So we'll bring the foot to the elbow crease, that right knee to the right elbow crease, and same idea of sitting up tall, shoulders back, as opposed to this kind of slumped sensation. So bring your weight just a little bit more forward on the sitting bones. Okay, Marchasana C. Place the foot and hook your left arm outside of the leg. Tie up as you can. Now your thumb leads around the shin so that your hands are now holding near the left hip. If possible, your left hand is going to hold your right wrist. Okay. Slowly unravel. Return to that happy baby thing you had, but now change your grip. So it's left hand on that foot. Right hand is going to dive through for sundial prep. So first just get your shoulder underneath your knee and make sure you can sit up and that you don't feel too slouched. And when you're ready, either arm out to the side or hand just close to your hip, you'll extend the leg and twist to the left. Try to press the head slightly back so that we're not quite so turtled. Okay, and let that go. So this is going to be a little weird. I'm going to change directions, but you're fine. Just straighten your right leg along your mat and bend your left leg into Virasana so that we can do Parigasana with the twist going the same way that sundial went. So right hand wherever you want. I like to put it on the knee pretty often. Left arm up, inhale, and start to side bend. We're going to try to get this right shoulder inside of the right knee. So wherever you need to move your right hand in order to help your shoulder get into position, do that. Even if your shoulder is coming all the way to your foot, not your shoulder, your hand is coming all the way to your foot, you still need to have that shoulder position established. And from there, you can twist open a little more. Okay, and we'll slowly get out of there. Vinyasa, at your leisure, we'll meet in downward dog. And then we'll get to do all of that on the other side. So from down dog, we'll jump through to sitting. And first we'll just have our right leg straight with the left leg, happy baby. And we'll try not to slump. So there's that zipping up from the pubic bone up to the belly button. There is a reason that we're doing all this. You'll find out in maybe 10 minutes. So it's good to establish yourself now. So we'll put that right foot down, Marchasana A. If you're having trouble getting your body forward enough, just hold your foot with your left hand and pull yourself forward. Then when your armpit is in front of your shin, the wrap is going to be dependent upon your left shoulder rolling forward. If you can, your head is on your right shin. You can either do forehead to shin or chin to shin. Okay, and we'll rise up. We'll baby cradle that leg. If you can't get your foot into the elbow, no big deal, just hold it some other way. The thing that I want you to try to do is not sit too far on the tailbone and not let your leg pull your arms out of the sockets. Okay, into Marchasana C. So that's the one with the twist. Foot is close to the hip. Either hug your knee to your right shoulder, or hook, or bind. So to bind, your shoulder rolls forward, your thumb goes down and around your shin bone. Clearing that shin takes a couple years to figure out, but then once it does it, it's pretty much gonna stay good for the rest of your life, barring any injury, barring being overzealous about something. Okay, so we'll unravel and we'll start to put that left shoulder inside of the knee. So starting with that happy baby position, we switch the grip. So it's the right hand on the foot. Now your left arm is free. Dive through the circle. I like to roll the muscle of this calf out of the way with my thumb so that I can get my shoulder pretty far under there. Feel free to stay like that. You don't have to straighten your leg. Regardless of if you're in the prep or in full sundial, try to press the back of your skull back a little bit. Lift your chest up. Try to be a presence. So we don't want to be turtled up too much. Okay, when we unravel, let go of that foot. I'm just going to swivel so I'm still facing you guys. So it'll be the left leg straight, the right leg folded back. We twist and side bend, but the twist is first. So you might want to do inhale, length, exhale, twist. Inhale, length, exhale, twist. And each breath you go down, you sort of reestablish yourself in the twist. Because in the full pose, when you look up at the ceiling, your right elbow is not really blocking your view. So that twist is really important. Okay, so we'll slowly get out of there. Vinyasa, we'll meet in downward dog. From down dog, we're going to come into two different ways to go into Pincha. So the first way we're going to do it is kicking one leg at a time, kind of like how we did the handstand before. I'm just turning this way in case things go awry. So come down to your forearms. If you know it, just go ahead up into it and ignore me for a minute. So one leg is going to step in a bit, and the second leg has to bypass our middle plane so that we end up in a split. And the legs are reaching apart from each other. The gaze is somewhere between your wrists and your thumbs, or maybe your fingertips, but probably not that far. When you feel like you can stay there forever, then bring your second leg up. And then let's come on down, take a rest, either in child's pose or kneeling. I just want you guys to get out of the habit of flinging both legs up too quick, because then you'll be dependent on the wall for too long. That said, the next way we're going to go up is two legs at once. But it's not one and then the other real quick. It's literally both at the same time. So you can put a wall behind you just to be safe, or you can repeat what we did before. It'll just be walking the feet in and doing a little hop. And I keep my knees bent until I feel like, okay, this is comfortable. And then you can extend the legs up. So just take your time practicing the little hop. I'm just going to watch you for a sec. It's all about where is your butt in relation to your shoulders. Okay, come on down for 1 sec. Let's revisit something we did before. So I'm going to make this really exaggerated. It doesn't look like this, but if you're here in downward dog, down dog B, and you start to walk your feet in and this happens to your shoulders, game over. So you have to keep pressing back even when you walk your feet in. We did that like way early on. So bring that into your attempt right now. Try it again. So keep your armpits open. Lisa, look a little more forward. Good, use your fingers. Carol, that was very good. You just have to get your legs to talk to each other a little bit more. Okay. So if you're on a roll, myself because my computer is so crappy that when I hold the base, it like moves and presses random buttons, like a wavy computer. Okay, so if you were on a roll, keep going with that. Otherwise, just come into a normal downward dog. And let's jump our feet around the hands to be in the front of the hands. So they'll come out and around. So we're in this like weird squatty thing. And we'll wedge the upper arms under. We'll have a seat on the hands and just try to cross the ankles. Relatively comfortable to have the ankles crossed. If this is going well for you, Titivasana. Keep pressing your legs into your arms and extend your legs out. You don't want to slide down, so you have to keep pushing in. Bakasana from here, lean forward more, bend one leg and then the other, and then jump back. We will have a chance to try that again in a little bit. We were just planting a seed. Let's come through and have a seat. Extend the legs out in front. And let's bring the right leg to that baby cradle again. If this is at all painful in your right hip, don't go any further. If you can, you're gonna hold your ankle or your foot and start to bring your heel to your forehead. Literally kick yourself in the head with your foot. And try to do that while sitting up straight. So it's more like we're bringing the foot up to the head as opposed to the head down to the foot. Okay, so place your right shoulder underneath your knee. Bring your hands to the floor. And we're just gonna practice pushing this leg into the arm, getting our butt off the ground. When you can, lift the left leg higher. And just practice this little swinging action. Hips forward, leg up. And then come down to your butt. Let it go. We'll just try the other side. So it starts with the baby cradle. And we make sure that we feel like we can breathe. Not too claustrophobic. I have to adjust my pants because it feels like sausage casing right now. It feels too tight. So when you're ready, if you want, heel to forehead. And you can hold however you want. It's kind of like combining your happy baby with your pigeon shape. Okay, then we'll put that shoulder underneath the knee. Hands down. Same distance between your hands as you would in a downward dog. Lift your butt. That's pretty easy. Then this part is not. This rocking. Okay, come on down. Let's separate the feet mats width so that they face somewhat forward. And they're a little far away from your butt. We're going to bring the elbows down inside. And we're squeezing the knees into the shoulders. Either stay here or turn it into Kurmasana. You're almost in Kurmasana already. All you have to do is slip your hands through and then straighten your legs. You could also come here and then not straighten your legs. But if you wanted full Kurmasana, you'd melt your chest and shoulders down to the floor. Some of you can get your legs so straight that your heels come up. I do not do that, but that doesn't mean you can't. Take one more breath, push your legs into your arms so your shoulders get closer to the floor. And to come out of it, we're going to use our hamstrings a lot. We're going to dig the heels into the floor and bend the knees. Then we can release the arms and just vinyasa. We'll meet in downward dog. Okay. Let's come onto hands and knees for a moment. We're going to go for Baddha Hasta Sirsasana A, the interlaced grip one, with a flying pigeon in the air. Some of you will take it into Lotus. I'll talk you through it, and I'll face this way. So first, just come into your Baddha Hasta Sirsasana A. Your headstand. Feel free to just stay there. If you want more, right ankle to lower left thigh. Bend your left leg so your shin comes close to your chest. Maybe stay there. Or let your foot instead come into your hip crease. And your right knee is going to point up to the ceiling so that your left foot can come around for Lotus. And you can play with lowering your Lotus in and lifting it up again. Maybe a few times. Let's actually take a rest before we do the other side. So whenever you're finished with your lifting and lowering, child's pose. Okay, on to the other side. So if you found that you're wiggling a lot because your Baddha Hasta is not that solid, I've seen people do it instead from tripod, but because we're there for so long, it's sort of better to just figure out how to get your Baddha Hasta A more solid. This tripod, you only want to be there for like 5 breaths or so. So let's come into Baddha Hasta A, if you can. And bring your left ankle to your lower right thigh. And start to bend your right knee so your left shin comes toward your chest. And either stay like that, that's your flying pigeon shape, or try to turn it into a lotus. I have to wiggle around quite a bit to get the foot high enough in the hip crease. And those of you doing your lifting and lowering from Lotus, you could stay in the low zone of your range, or you could come all the way up so your knees point to the ceiling. Just take one more lifty lowering if that's what you're doing. And we'll meet in a child's pose. Okay, vinyasa into downward dog. Wiping sweat. Okay, let's jump through and come onto the back. Bring your right leg to a happy baby. Left leg can be bent or straight. And bring your right leg across your chest, baby cradle. Again, left leg can be bent or straight. In a moment, we're going to come to sit up. So our left leg, we're going to bring overhead, sort of like we want a halasana type of shape. Not that far, but that direction. And then we'll use a little momentum to sit up. And just see if you can sit up and sit tall. And lay back again. Some of you are going to put that foot behind the head. Some of you will stay just where you are. So take your time figuring that out. And we're going to come up to sitting again. So if you put your foot behind your head, it's sort of the same thing you just did. Left leg overhead and then sit. So a little bit of momentum. I went too fast, which is why my hand caught me. But we try to sit up just like we did before. And let's gently slip the head from behind the ankle. Place the hands for Hasta Sirsasana. So your leg is squeezing on your arm, just like you did before. Lift your butt. Bring your left foot to your right ankle. Cross your feet and hook them, flex. Kick to the right. Look to the left. Twist a little bit deeper. Arms are like chaturanga. Kick your legs even straighter. Unravel and lower down. Let it go. We'll lay down again. We'll try the other side. So starting just with a happy baby. And bring the leg across. Maybe you can get it in your elbow crease, maybe not. But notice how your head is in relation to your shoulders right now. We're going to try to keep that when we sit up. So right leg up and over, and then whip yourself up so that you're not dropping your chest. You've probably seen when people are shy or embarrassed, they kind of slump in. So you're the opposite. You're just a presence. You are what you are. You don't need to change that. You just are there. Let's come on down again. And maybe put your foot behind your head. So the calf muscle has to roll in. Use your thumb, just like you did in some of those earlier poses. You have been prepping for this for an hour, whether you know it or not. So when you're set, right leg is going to come up. Sit up. Try to sit tall as best you can. And to come into Hasta Sirsasana, we're going to let the head slip away, but the leg is going to stay strong on the arm, not sliding down. Hands come down, lean forward, lift your butt, find your feet, hook your feet, and kick. And we can look to the right to just add a little extra twist. And when you're ready, get out of there. Let's vinyasa. We'll meet in down dog B again. Let me check the clock. Oh God, oh God. So many things I want to do. Okay, so we're going to try the two-legged into Pincha one more time. This is the kind of thing that you will probably have to try 100 times. Check out where my butt goes and where the knees go, just so that you have a frame of reference. It's not that pretty. Whoops, I didn't make it. So it's kind of squat. And then when I feel like it's okay in the balance, then the extension happens. So give it a whirl. It's a lot more shoulders than you think. It seems like it should be pretty easy, but it's like you have to drag yourself forward with your fingertips. Demi, that's good. Pause there at the top. You got that. Good. Okay. Nice. All right, let's do tripod to Bakasana or tripod to Urdhva Kukkutasana. The only difference is, are you going to put your legs in Lotus or not? So you know if Lotus is appropriate for you, so you know whether you want to do that or not. So let's all start in tripod headstand. Your two hands and head make a triangle. You'll lift your legs. If you want, you'll Lotus up your legs. We'll start to bring the knees down. Once they're in a good spot, we'll roll a bit toward the forehead and pull ourselves forward. Just like you would in any of those inversions that you were doing. Your fingers are working really hard to get you up. To return your head to the floor, you start to bend your elbows. Drop your head. Then your abs will get your legs up. Chaturanga out of there. Chaturanga. How'd it go, Ashley? Looks like you're looking at me. Girl. All right. So let's come on through. Lay down. And just come into Baddha Hasta Sirsasana. Just a nice, easy back bend. And slowly lower down to your butt. Let's turn this into Ekapada Supta Virasana. So fold your right leg back like you would Virasana. Try to get your knee, your right knee, to the ground. And just keep your left sole of foot on the floor for a moment and use that to help you steer so that you feel like your hips are still on the same plane. If you can, reach overhead, your hands reaching away from your knees. And roll to your left so you can let that go and try the other side. So the arch of the foot is just outside the hip. And even though this is a crazy thigh stretch, we don't want to overdo it in the back. So try to tuck your lowest ribs in, shorten the front side of your body and the core. Tim would say you don't want a Mack truck to be able to drive underneath your back. Only a Maserati, one of those little squat cars. Okay, we'll let go of that leg. Two soles of the feet to the floor, and either Setu Bandha, Sarvagasana again, or Urdhva Dhanurasana, hands by the shoulders, lift toward straight arms. Okay, come on down. Bring the knees in. I'm just going to rock a little bit side to side or somehow so that you can have a seat. And we'll try for a Pincha with extra back bend. So get into it however you want. I know I was making you go with two legs jumping. You don't have to do that. But you are going to increase your back bend. So come up when you're ready. And start to look further forward toward your fingers and push your hips further away from your fingers. You might even be able to look off your mat to your wood floor, whatever kind of floor you have. Take a few more breaths. Okay. So it seems like our disconnect is where are our feet in relation to the hips. So just so you have a little visual, if we were standing, the hips have to move one way and the feet are going the other way. And notice where my shoulders are in relation to the feet. They kind of stay on the same track, but the hips move. So let your feet be a little freer than they are. They're getting kind of stuck. So let's try a few more back bends from the back, and then we'll try that Pincha again. So if you can, Urdhva Dhanurasana. If you're coming into Setu Bandha instead, that is fine. If you're in Urdhva Dhanurasana, tuck your right toes under you. So you're bending your right knee. Then come onto that shin. Walk your left foot back a bit and your hands back a bit so you can be in this weird version of a Ekapada Kukkutasana B. And then return to Urdhva Dhanurasana, and we'll all come down to our backs. Take a breath or two, and we'll try the other side. So it's like the same shape you had in your leg for Supta Virasana, but you have to work really hard to get it there from this position. Let's find our Urdhva Dhanurasana. Then start to lift your left foot, bend your knee, touch your toenails down, and then your shin bone down. For balance, walk your right foot forward a bit, and walk your hands in. Return to Urdhva Dhanurasana, and then return to your back. Well, that was fun. Let's go for Pincha one more time with an increased back bend. Some of you will want scorpion, and that's fine, but you have to be able to balance in Pincha first and then slowly go into scorpion. You can't rush the balance aspect. So I'm just gonna watch you so that I can yell at you from my mat. Ashley, where did you go, girl? Get back here. Lisa, keep your legs a little straighter and come further from the wall. More than that, girl, that didn't count. Like far from the wall. Good, so Ashley, you just have to look forward and drag with your fingertips a little more. This feeling of like pulling. Good. Hips forward, Carol. Hips away from fingers. Yeah. Okay. Very nice. So, we have done quite a bit to get you prepped for Carol's favorite pose of the year. She used to obsess over Pincha, and now she's obsessed over getting into Pincha from Baddha Hasta C. So let's give it a try. If you've never done it, you might want to watch me do it first. Hopefully that means I actually can do it, because it's not a guaranteed thing. It's maybe 75% of the time I can do it. So Pincha is what we've been doing. Baddha Hasta C is the same arms, but the head is down. So it's a headstand to start. And I'll just kind of get comfortable in the headstand first, but then turn it into a back bend by pushing the hips away from my fingers. Rolling a little toward the forehead. So the shape has already changed. I'm still head on the ground. And then I'll try to lift the head and pull my chest forward and come into Pincha. So I found the shape before lifting the head. So give it a try. It is great fun. And you do need to be far enough from the wall that your legs have that ability to move. Okay. Keep your legs talking to each other. So the right always knows where's the left one. They're squeezing together. Yes, very nice. Okay. So let's come down to our backs. Take your time if you're on a roll. And we're just going to bring the knees into the chest. We'll hold the kneecaps with the hands. And on your exhale, pull them in close. Inhale, push them away. And just do this a few times. So those of you who are using the walls, you need to start moving a little further away from the wall, because really it's just plan B. It's okay to flail around a little bit and find your balance that way. Let's thread the needle right ankle to lower left thigh. Reach through, hold the shin, and pull it in close. Change legs. Part of it, the success of that pose is not letting the lotus ribs splay out too much. So you always have to think about that Supta Virasana shape that we had, where we didn't want the Mack truck to ride under us. We were trying to compress the front ribs toward the hips. Let's let that go. Happy baby. And it seems counterintuitive to do that while you're entering the back bend. but it's a way to measure your back bend and to keep it slow and steady so that you don't flail out too much. Okay, let it go, rock and roll up to sitting. Straighten out the legs, fold forward. If I were in the room with you guys, I would be poking you in the ribs most likely in those poses that we were doing. So maybe on Sunday we'll work on that a little bit more, that idea of the core kind of keeping us in line. Okay, so if there's anything else you need before Shavasana, go ahead and take it, and we'll just meet in Shavasana. I have the time flies. A few more breaths here. Start to wiggle fingers and toes. Then the knees curl onto one side. Let's sit up and try to bring our shoulders over the hips, ears over the shoulders. Bring the hands up to the third eye, between the brows. Inhale. And fold forward any amount. Exhale. Namaste.